Hello, I'm Sheena Cantar and I want to help you create a high velocity operation. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, just listen on for a little bit. Examine companies' count over the last dozen years or so. What you'll find is that slow kills companies. And of course, that's been the death of many careers, never mind the companies. To survive, certainly to gain any competitive advantage, your company must travel light and cover ground quicker. That drives the decision to decentralize, to delegate decision-making power. That's why it's so important to erase boundaries between different parts of the organization so work flows seamlessly and swiftly. Companies don't really have much choice. They must eliminate excess baggage, abandon bureaucratic practices, shrink dramatically the time it takes to get things done. So many of the changes you see going on these days are designed to help companies pick up speed. What you're witnessing is raw survival instincts at work. Companies must accelerate. We live in an impatient world, fierce competition, and fleeting opportunities. Organizations like yourself must be lean, agile, and quick to respond. Will clearly have the edge. But your company can't go fast if your employees go slow. That's what I'm here for. And I want to create that sense of urgency with yourself and your employees, because today, tomorrow, next week, we know what it's like now. It is no longer one job, one opportunity for years. It could change in an absolute instant. And that is what Cantar Academy is here to help you do. A little bit just about me, because this isn't about me. This is about you and your results. I've been in corporate for 30 years. I was in the Premier Performer League with a #1 pharmaceutical company. And I left them, created millions, left them. And I worked with other companies on a contract basis. And I helped every team that I worked with get to #1. And that's what I want to help do for you. What happened to me, though, was that I got so far and I actually went in the opposite direction. I seem to have lost the edge. Now, what happened? And that's whenever I decided that I would go to Bob Proctor and work with him. Who is Bob Proctor? Bob Proctor is the world leader in human potential. The company is called Proctor Gallagher Institute. And I decided to go to the top person in personal and business development. Bob Proctor personally took Prudential, a company that was 163rd in its rankings, to #1 within 2 years. In the first year, they became #5. So I want to share with you part of that journey and how he did that. And that's what Cantar Academy is all about. And that is what I've created for you. I'm just going to share my screen with you for a moment. So I've said this, we live in an impatient world, fierce competitions. We've got to go fast, eliminating any excess baggage. What this means is clear decision-making, but you've got to have the team to be able to trust to do this. Otherwise, you'll be too busy getting caught up in all the strategies of the process. You want people that you can totally trust. What makes Cantar Academy's approach so unique? I love this saying, tell me what you want and I will show you how to get it. Do you believe me? Let me show you how. Let me ask you, what makes a business? We can call it the product, the strategies, the processes, the buildings. It's all about people, isn't it? Because we could own a hotel, and if we have no people, we have bricks and mortar. Everything, nothing stands up without the people. Your strategies, your processes, none of them stand up. Business is 95% mindset and 5% strategy, and that is the slight edge. And who are the people? They're everybody that you work with. But who is the main person? If you are the CEO of your company, the energy of you will absolutely filtrate down through the company. If you're a team leader, your energy will infiltrate through your team. Now, we can blame team's performance, but if we are the CEO, if we are the team leader, it's down to us, 100% responsibility. So what have we got here? Business results. Now, we can either like the business results or not like them. It depends. We could be looking for 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 200 million. It's all relative to the person who's actually looking for that money. Some people may think it's good, other people may think it's bad. But as your employee, what do they feel about the results? And what do you see the results that somebody else is performing? Because this is so key. Because your business results are actually a thought. There is a thought that everybody is having about them. And you know what? Chances are everybody's having a different thought about those business results. And how do we communicate that? Because at the end of the day, we're people. There is a person behind that thought. And if every single person is thinking along a different line of perception, then whenever we're communicating along different channels. We may as well all be on different phone calls. We've got to make sure that everybody is playing to the same tune, to the same frequency, because your results will be based on that frequency. Do you want that to be high, or do you want that to be average? I'm here for you if you want to make it high. If you want to be average, that's okay. Go work with somebody else. I only want to work with the top and the best and the people who want to make it the best. What do you want? So every person is thinking and feeling. You see, the trouble is that we tend to just concentrate on what they're thinking. So we keep putting in more and more and more knowledge. Do you ever wonder why you train people and then they don't get the results? Why is that? Now, when I talk about feeling, I'm not talking about, oh, let's give us so much empathy and sympathy and tears and vulnerability and everything like that. No, it's nothing like that at all. Your heart, which is in your subconscious, is 5,000 times more powerful than your brain. Yes, 5,000 times. And this is what we want to get across, is that to pay attention to what you're feeling. You can actually think from your heart, but most of us just think from our brain. And then we get logical answers. And sometimes it's the illogical that will get the results. And that's what we want to look at. You know, we tend to look for pleasing methods that are logical and then accept the results that are there. Or we can do what it takes here and have the results that we want. But sometimes doing what it takes brings fear to people. And so they will shrink from doing it and have every excuse ready to go. I'm here so that there's no more apologies, no more excuses, and no more judgments, and no more justifications. Are you up for that? You see, we have an intention with our thinking mind. Now, can you imagine how many New Year's resolutions are broken by February? I bet you've done it yourself. I know I have. That's it. I'll lose weight the second week in January. Do you want to go out and have a drink? I'm ready there. See, your intention is only 2%. There's an assumption that you've made. You made the assumption, I'm going to go to the gym or every week for the next 6 months. But something in your heart fell and you felt it. And you felt it. So, what did you do about it? Did you just ignore it? You see, it's the assumption that's going to create the results. 100%. It is the assumption that is going to create the results. That is 98%. Have you ever driven home and not even remembered how you got home because your mind was thinking this, that, and the other? But you got home because your 2% was off, creating things way off in your imagination, maybe having an argument with somebody. and your body drove home. Thank goodness. This is what we want to infiltrate. This is where Cantar Academy does the work. Because you see, everything's linked to a belief. Now, you know the ones that are in your conscious mind, but you are so wrapped up with beliefs that you have no idea where they came from, but you are acting them out every single day. We call this praxis, belief and behaviors, because most likely they're not even aligned. Oh, you've got the intention. Everybody's got good intentions, but there's something else driving them. Something else driving them. What we need to really understand about each person is, who are they? It's your identity. Let me give you an example. When I was younger, at 19, my mum had told me that I was just going to be a secretary, that I did not have an academic mind at all. And so I wasn't to go to university, that I was to be a secretary. As far as I'm aware, you had to still pass exams to be a secretary. So I went to the RAF and I thought, well, I'll be an admin person. I'll be a secretary with the RAF. And I had to do an IQ test. That IQ test came out at 160. And so they said to me, we want you to be an officer. We want you to come in and do officer training. I didn't understand what they said, because my self-image was being a secretary. Yeah. So what did I do with that information? I left and never told anybody. And I became a secretary. Everything changed after that. It all changed after that. Some life events with everybody. Life events happen. And then. So what is your identity? What is your Salesforce identity? What is the identity of all the people that are working with you? Because that is what we're dealing with. And that's what we want to get into. I can tell you that even after 15 years of being in sales, that I did not see myself as a sales rep. And yet I was in sales. I had amazing KPIs, except for the sales. Because I could do all the work, do all the processes, pass all the exams, 100%. You ask me to do something, be done. You know people like that, but they're not getting results. Why is that? It's what they're holding in that 98%. They don't even know it. That's their subconscious. That's what we need to get into. So what is happening whenever you say you keep doing something and you didn't really mean to do it, and you just keep doing it. And why did you do that? I don't know, I just did it. Well, let's talk about a cybernetic instrument, which is what your subconscious is. And so let's look at a thermostat. So say somebody comes along and makes the temperature 70 degrees, and then they open the door and the temperature drops to 65. What happens? It's automatic. The heating system switches on and it brings the temperature right up to 70 degrees again. And this all happens automatically. This is what is going on in your body. So people are earning 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pounds because that's what they're aware of being able to earn. Their paradigm, their programming is set to a certain amount. Now, if you've got somebody on your sales team and 1 month they really make it great, they do 70,000, and then the next thing they do 30,000 because they will average out at 50, if that's what they're used to getting. I've seen it so many times, and that's exactly what happened to me. I had earned so much that the following year I didn't earn anything because I'd actually tripled what I'd earned before. And so I gave and I took away from myself. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I started studying this work with Bob Proctor. And this is what is going on with every single member of your team, including yourself. To give you more examples of this, so imagine that you wanted to diet. And so everybody's done this, haven't they? You feel overweight. So you make a decision to go on a diet. I mean, raise your hands. How many people have done that? Have you ever seen it on the David Lloyd machines? And they're up and down and up and down and up and down. But it all balances out. If you did an average, you'd be balancing out. So what happens? We lose a bit of weight. But what thing happened is that we didn't change our self-image. The self-image that is inside that subconscious mind, the identity, you did not feel like a slim person. And so you made all your intentions with your 2% and did not involve the 98% that actually gets results, sustainable, consistent, long-term results. That is what needs to be changed right there. It all just balances out. Now, imagine you've got a sales team. And most people don't like sales. They hate being sold to. And they don't like selling. Yet they're selling. And everybody in your business is selling, whether it's the secretary, the cleaner, everybody is selling. We're all selling our services. And it's something to get over, because what is everybody's self-image? Because if nothing's sold, there's no business, is there? So what are your results? What is your image? What is your image? So again, what makes Cantar Academy's approach so different? You'd all probably know this diagram, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so what happens is that we tend to work upwards. I mean, this is what Maslow said. I'm not disagreeing with him. But this is why we say we struggle to our goals, because we've got to get over all of these hurdles before we really get to what we want. And how many people ever get there? Isn't most of the world just surviving? Doesn't matter if you've got the nice car. There's so many people out there with all the flash and no cash, because none of the stuff is theirs. The house isn't theirs. The car isn't theirs. The sofa isn't theirs. So we struggle. We're always in survival mode. We can't leave the job. We can't invest because we're too afraid. We need to keep care of safety and security, which keeps us at the bottom of this triangle, which keeps your company. Now, remember, your company is people. And your people, if they are in survival mode, then that is the dragging pattern on your company. It doesn't matter if you're high performing already, you could be even more high performing. Instead of looking for 10%, 20% growth, what about 100, 500% growth? Sandy Gallagher, who works with Bob Proctor, she was a $1 billion attorney, and she thought she knew how to think. She came along to a Bob Proctor meeting and she realized that she was thinking bottom-up thinking. So she left her corporate world, and she's now, that's why it's called the Proctor Gallagher Institute, of which I have a partner. So where do we want to go? Yeah, we want to be in at the top. This is where I take you, your employees, and your company. Are you up for that? Are you up for that? We want to start at the top and look down, because by law, if we're at the top, everything else has been taken care of. You see, when you're at your goal, it's easy. When you're not at your goal, when you're working towards your goal, it's a struggle. I wish I'd known this when I was a salesperson, because let me tell you, I would have had even better results. Even better results. So what's going on here with your employees, and including yourself? So let's take this as the company for now. So we've got some people who are very, very front-end positive, which was me. I played the game. I ticked every box. But there were some times when I wasn't engaged, and I would be engaged, not engaged, engaged, not engaged. Imagine what that energy is doing for the company. Imagine if everybody was just engaged. Is that possible? And the people then that are actively disengaged, and do we ignore them? I think it doesn't matter. These people are better off somewhere else, or if you really truly understood them, they can be such an asset to your company. But they're just sitting in the wrong place, doing the wrong job. Every single person is an asset, providing they're coming from their strengths. And so that's one of the first things that I do with yourself and your employees is strengths. We want to really understand what and how you're thinking. So we have the first top 5 strengths. We work with all 34, but we focus mainly on the top 5 because your top 5 strengths become your top 5 weaknesses if they are played incorrectly. And now when I did this, I went from not being on the leadership board to within 6 months becoming premier performer, because finally it was okay to be me. Finally, I knew how to work Sheena Cantar. I didn't know before. I thought I knew, but now I really knew. And my manager at the time knew exactly how to manage me. And that's how I got results. How great would that be that you know exactly how to manage yourself? Not 99%. I'm talking 100% confidence, knowing who you are. This is a test done by Gallup. It is world leading standard. Gallup is the #1 managing company out there. So the results from this are you have 0.6 statistical significance. There is no other business profiling that you will get out there that has that significance. So what results? Because it's okay with the significance and how it works. And people, yes, that's me 100%. But what do the results actually bring up? How about a 22% increase in your profitability? Now, this isn't over 5 years or anything. This would be in a year. How about you have the top performing sales team? How about being #1 in 6 months, whatever industry that you're in? What about 65% reduction in staff turnover? Now, if you have a low staff turnover, that's okay. That still actually increases by 22%. But if you're a high staff turnover, imagine reducing that by 65%. How much money and time does that save you? I love this one. Talk about instant results, because all of these results are instant with strengths. To be running on KPIs at 47%, and then within the first month, be on 100%, and continually running over the next 2 years at 97 to 100%, based on 1 day of doing strengths. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, what happens is that you can see along this chart here that we have 34 strengths. So if you've ever done insights or anything like that before, that's okay, because insights is very similar to the colors that we've got here: strategic, influencing, relationship, and executing. But strengths goes even deeper, and it really looks at the depth of how executing people execute, how influencing people influence. And so we can map your team on a board like this. You know, the benefit of this is you know exactly what people to use for what projects. There's no more second guessing. This is what's going to make your company quicker. Let me try her. Let me try him. No, come straight here and go, this person will work really well with this person because their strengths are matching. Let's put these 2 people on the case, and that project will go like that. You know exactly what to choose. So this is your strengths. And we can talk about this with you. This is just an overview for now to give you an idea. But imagine the power in this. Imagine being able to look at your team like this. Absolute powerful work. But here's the next thing. We have a leadership team, don't we? It could just be you, or you could have a team. And so what we're looking at here is, instead of looking at this graph now as your company, look at it for yourself. So at the front end, you're very positive. That's the ego, the intention, always there. Yes, yes, positive mindset. But our 98% could actually be coming from lack. Sometimes it's coming from abundance. Sometimes it's coming from lack. But there's absolutely really deep-rooted beliefs that are driving everything. It brings you situations and circumstances that you may not like. And when it brings those to you, you'll go, where did that come from? It's because you didn't understand what was driving your behavior. And so your beliefs and your behavior did not match. So that's not praxis. And then you wonder where it all came from. I don't know why that happened. I don't know why I keep doing that. Why do I keep getting these results? You see, this isn't just for business, because it's you as a person. No matter what is going on in your life, every single employee has got something going on in their life, whether it's to do with relationships, whether it's to do with money, whether it's to do where they live, whether it's to do with friends, it doesn't really matter. But every single person has got something going on, and it's bringing that energy to your business. And if their energy isn't aligned, then your business energy won't be aligned. And that's what we want to do, because when our energies are aligned, that's when we get results. That's when we get results. And we need to get into those deep, deep-rooted beliefs. We can clear them. So easy. So easy. We're not doing any counseling. We're not doing any coaching along that way. This is about understanding how you work. And if you know that, then you know how everybody else works. And you align that with your business. Personal goals and business goals all aligned. Everybody going to the same way, playing the same tune. Imagine an orchestra and everybody's playing their own notes. Terrible sound, terrible sound. This is your business. This is your business. Imagine everybody playing the same tune. That's what's capable, and that's what gets results. But we need to understand what's going in here that could be actively disengaging your employee or yourself in your business. And we are only as good as our weakest employee, and we are only as good as our weakest reaction. I'll leave that thought with you. We're only as good as our weakest reaction. So this program is called Thinking into Results, and I'm going to share with you some of the results that have come from that. Hold on to your hats. 10K to 10 million in 18 months. One person, one business. Taking your annual salary and making it monthly, and then doubling that within 6 months. What would that mean to you if you did that just for yourself? What would that mean to you and anybody else around you and your family? How about being made redundant and then taking over the company that made you redundant, clearing all their debt, and in 4 months being 200K in profit? How good is that? This one just makes me smile. 8 million to 200 million in 1 year. 1 year. Incredible. And this was the company I told you about before, Prudential, 163rd to number 1 in 2 years. Where do you want to be with your company? Where do you want to be with your company? Whether you are a Fortune 500, 250, 100 company, or whether you're a single person, where do you want to be in 1 year, 18 months? What is possible for you? Whatever goal you've set for a 5-year target, make it your 1 year target. What would that mean for your business and your family and your employees and the people you serve. If you're 100% behind your company, then the people you serve will benefit. And everybody benefits. This has to be a win-win-win. A win for you, a win for your employees, and a win for your clients. That creates consistent, sustainable results. And that's what I'm all about. This is not just business transformation. This is life transformation. Where does this information all come from? So the guy on the left there, Andrew Carnegie, richest man in the world, 1917 he died. And before he died, he was giving all his money away and he kept coming back to him and he thought, why am I rich? Why is there so much money here? Why are the rich people in the world and other people poor? So the next guy, Napoleon Hill, he asked him to go for 20 years for 25,000 people and interview them as to what made people rich. 500 of them went into a book called Think and Grow Rich. Now that book is quite a hard read. Read it if you want, but people have read it and earned millions. A lot of people have read it and nothing has happened. Why is that? So Earl Nightingale is the next guy, and he was the first personal development guru in the world. He brought personal development to the world. And Bob Proctor studied directly with him. And I study directly with Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is my mentor. What results do you think you can get with this lineage? This information that has been researched, and Bob Proctor himself has studied it for 60 years. And he's pulled it all together in 12 lessons. Just 12 lessons. That's it. And these are the business principles here. We will take you through all of these business principles over a 24-week period, specifically for your company, specifically for your employees. This is a leadership program. So people on your leadership team, can you imagine them all working together for 6 months, taking your company to 100% growth, 500% growth? What is it that you can imagine? Can you see? And if you think, well, they wouldn't work so well together, that's what the strengths is for beforehand. I had one company where I worked with 10 people, very high achievers. And within one day, they were all working so well together. And that's the company that brought in the 100% KPIs, because all of a sudden they realized how to work together. So then we take that information and now, but then we point it towards your company, what the successful think, how they think, what they do. It is all in here. The attitude and mindset of high producing teams, creating power teams, return on investment, overcoming barriers to success, profit through service, all of these lessons. And then this will filter through your company. You'll know their strengths. You will be the strongest leadership team going. Whenever you have anybody who wants to be a leader, you now have a program in which to take them on and take them through this leadership program. Thinking into Results is a program for leaders. What results do you want? What difference would that make to your life? So what Cantar Academy offers is through the strengths, immediate impact. Immediate impact. It involves a 1-hour call with me and a team day. Each of your employees and your leadership team. I would like to know and understand the size of your business so that we can work through this and really understand what would be the immediate impact that you want to see, because that's what we work towards. And you'll get it. Tell me what you want and I will show you how to get it. Lifelong application. This information is not something that you just do for 6 months. This is information that you will take through the whole lifetime of your company and yourself and your family and your employees' families. Everybody benefits from this material. The great thing is it's also a strategic process because it's following a system, a proven system that gets results. Are you ready to take your company to the next level? I would absolutely love you to book a call with me. And I'm looking to find out more about your company. What do you want? What does that look like? What image do you see on the screen of your mind? What is that? Because it is your image that I will be building my work around. And I will take everybody's personal goals and make them and help them run towards the personal and business goal of the company. What challenges are you facing right now? Imagine they went. Just like that. They went. Because that's what happens when you work with Cantar Academy. It's lovely to be with you and spend this time with you. Book a call with me and let's set up our own personal discussion about where we're going to take your company. I'd love to be part of that success. See you now. Bye-bye.